This is the morning shift.
Shift Nation, we have the absolute privilege in studio right now, having the duo of all duos in our opinion, Professor Rangi and Teao. Ho much paki, give it up for the boys. I will say, if you are watching on Spotify or you can see this video right now, Teao almost walked off set. He felt like he was a little bit...
This is way too blue for me, bro. Stitch up.
We are here to... we'll get into Origin a little bit later, but we're here for a much more important kaupapa. Obviously, for our audience, brothers, learning a little bit more about Matariki is super important. But welcome to the show. How you guys been?
Yeah, busy, bro. It's that kind of time of the year, eh? So much stuff happening. So much Matariki stuff, so much puanga stuff. It's so awesome.
What's your guys', I guess, the kaupapa or role leading into Matariki?
That's a good question.
Because I see fellas everywhere, you know?
So I guess for me, I have this role in government, actually. Chief Advisor Matariki to the Minister and to the Prime Minister. And as part of that...
How's that?
Yeah. It's interesting, brother. It's interesting. But we got Teao with us who really gets out there and helps really promote the messages and the themes and the values and the importance of the kaupapa to the nation.
What actually happens, bro, is Rangi's like, bro, we have to go up north for a week and we have to go do this, this and that. And then I get up north and Rangi's not there. And then I go, oh, tēnā tātou, I'm a Chief Executive Advisor of Matariki.
What actually happens is Teao gets me to do this stuff and I look like an absolute idiot to a few million people online.
I think for us, one thing, I think that's what we've enjoyed about the content is, you know, if you're not immersed in Te Ao Māori, you know, our kids go to kohanga, so we get in there. It's like making these things that can seem like quite big ideas, and maybe for those who aren't immersed, it's like, oh, I don't know if I really know. You're making it palatable. You're making it fun. And really, even our last conversation, what I was taken away with, like, oh, I can get down with that. Like, I don't know my karakia and all that, but I can reflect on stuff I'm grateful for. I can connect and disconnect. Are the themes the same this year? Can it carry over? Or what's a thread of thought or whakaaro from you boys that would be good for this Matariki?
You know, the themes for Matariki will always be the same. You know, they're the three, if there's anything people take away, it's the three main pillars. It's about remembering those that we've lost along the journey, you know, and the legacy they leave us. It's about celebrating who we are, bro, all of the cool things that make us who we are, and we come together to celebrate us. And the third thing is about looking towards a bright and prosperous future. Isn't a single person living in this country who does not descend from people who use that group of stars to celebrate New Year, travel, planting, harvesting, right across the globe, bro, from Europe to Africa to the Americas and here, Polynesia and Aotearoa. And the messages are, you know, pretty broad, but we want people to connect because they're really cool themes. And having Te Aorere on board, he's got that ability to connect with the masses in a way that they feel comfortable and can see themselves in the kaupapa, and that's why it's been important.
No, you guys have been incredible as well. Where are you guys celebrating this year? And I know you can celebrate wherever you want, but you guys will probably be somewhere extremely special this year to celebrate.
So Ohakune,
Ooh.
Ngāti Rangi are hosting the National Hautapu, which will be broadcast on Friday morning. That'll be at the foot of Mount Ruapehu.
He's going to be on the broadcast?
You will be on the broadcast.
Yeah.
I don't know where Te Allen will be.
Ask me after game 2 whether I'll be celebrating this Matariki or not.
You know, one of the cool things I did want to say, though, is like this year, Ngāti Rangi, they celebrate Puanga, which is another star. And the theme this year is Matariki Mā Puanga, which means Matariki and Puanga. Same themes, same values. It's just a different star, the same part of the sky. It's like us, Matariki Mā Puanga, you know. We both play in the game, but there can only be one winner.
Gentlemen, I think it's a really nice place to start too, in the sense that in a time where I think the country's never felt more divided and then pulled back together and so on, for our whānau who may not necessarily relate to Māori or Te Ao Māori, what can they bring to it, and what can they get out of this, what is generally a public holiday for some, and they probably don't resonate any further than that, but how can they feel included?
That's a good question, bro. And I look at Matariki as a health model for myself. People take this time to reset, and I tick off the 9 stars of Matariki as my mental, spiritual, emotional reset before I start the new year. So Matariki, married rehua, hea te whakapākeatanga o rāua. Matariki is the star of health and well-being, who married rehua, who's the medicine man, and they had 8 children. The eldest is Pōhutukawa, which is those who have passed on. So to me, that star talks about our own personal relationship with those who we've lost, and our relationship with ourselves. So it's like an emotional star. And then tipu anuku, tipu arangi, waiti, waita, the 4 environments we harvest our kai from, which talks to me about our physical health, not only as people, but our connection to the environment as well. Waipunarangi and Ururangi are our 2 weather stars, which are I believe, is a reflection of the things we can't control in our life. And then Hiwai Te Rangi, I guess, is the star that's connected to our hopes and dreams for the future. So I use Matariki as that, a reset. I think about the star of health and well-being, and I put her 8 children in line before I move on to the new year.
Bro,
That's a good answer.
you want a job as the advisor?
Bro, this is what I've been telling people when you don't show up.
I love that though, right? Because like that actually brings people in outside of those who are Māori to those universal themes that everyone can think about: grief, or even, am I right in reflecting the things that we need to kill in some of the bad habits in
Mate.
ourselves, or to let go, and grief in that?
The word mate, it means 2 things to me. First, it's those who have passed on, but mate is also the pain and the struggles and the things that we carry inside of us. So it's a time for us to call the names of those who have passed on and take a moment to also send our mate, the things that sit inside of us, so we don't carry on and explode further down the track.
Yeah, I want to come back to Mark's question there, because that's, people want to know how they connect. There is no Matariki police, right? There's no, this is the way you celebrate it. If it's connected to having fun, the environment, celebrating who we are, any way that you think that's appropriate, that's up to you. But all of those stars that Teao was talking about in the cluster, they're all slightly different, right? They're slightly different in terms of what they represent, their sizes, their positions. But on Friday morning, when the moon is in that last quarter phase, and if you get up and you look east before the sun rises, you'll see all of those individual stars rise as one cluster. And that's a symbol to us as a nation, because we're from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different ideas, different positions, but we come together as one, and we rise together to celebrate and herald in the new year and look for a bright future. And yeah, there's so much division out there. Easy as to focus on the things that divide us and weaponize words and, divide people and put them into categories. But it's actually that diversity that's a strength in terms of Matariki. So when they rise together with all their diversity as one, that's a symbol to us. Come together and celebrate as one.
Speaking of coming together, and if you need us, if you're going to travel, then you just let us know. But Tahiti is having their first one this year. That's right.
They are. They're celebrating their Matariki. You'll find Matariki right across Polynesia, right across the Pacific. Easter Islands Matariki, right up to Hawaii. They celebrate, same thing, New Year celebration. So after 4 years, we went last year, and they're having on the 20th of November, their inaugural Matariki holiday. We're going to be over, well, I am. After last year, I don't know if Teao's getting back in after the events of last year, but if you guys are free, we could go wear our tops and Teao in a maroons bikini, and then we'll be all
Just learn our pepeha first. I especially love this what we're talking about, because you're right. It's easy to look at a lot of the headlines and see a lot of the division, and kind of heard this whakaaro the other day. Like, it's easy to look at the world like we're a symphony all out of tune, but we're looking for a song sheet to sing off, and those ideas that you're hanging that on around, Matariki and reflection, I think are just so important. Do you have any like cool stories, bro? Because one thing, our audience is quite wide in our knowledge, and I know, pretend you're at at government, talking to Pākehās about how awesome we are. Pākehās, like, tell me something I don't know. That's what I think.
two of my main ones. One was last year, we got an actual message from Latrell, from
Mitchell.
Latrell
That's our
Mitchell.
cousin. That's right.
Yeah, saying have an awesome matariki. And last year, the Brisbane Broncos, actually, it was Jordan Ricky that organised it, had the matariki emblem on their jerseys when they played the Warriors here during that weekend. So that was cool. But if there is one story for me, and it's kind of, it's not I've been lucky enough to go to places like NASA and the Royal Observatory.
Hang on, you been to NASA?
Yeah.
Do you think the moon landing back in the thing was?
It happened, bro.
No, the one in the 80s, or what was it? That first one, you reckon?
With Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened, bro.
Yeah, nah, see. I just needed a hang on, whānau, hang on, because I'm the tinfoil hat. I just needed a Māori to tell me. Okay, that's all I needed. I just needed someone that was like us, been there. Okay, got
Well,
you.
Rona was first. But, I was, been to places like Royal Observatory we have in London, and we've been some incredible places with this kaupapa. But I gave a presentation in the Gold Coast a few years ago, and it's something that will stick to me as the most amazing experience that I've ever had. Talk to this group about, honouring our dead when Matariki rises, and the fact that in part of that narrative is the dead get collected by this net, and Matariki is made up by this massive constellation that make up Te Wako Rangi, or this canoe, where the dead will remain until Matariki rises in the new year. You see that canoe rise flat on the horizon, and that's a moment we call out the names of the dead, and their spirits get scattered into the cosmos as stars. They stick to the chest of Rangi Nui for eternity. So when we look up in the night sky, we see our ancestors and our loved ones, and we honour them. I finished my presentation, and I was signing books, and I could see this girl. She must have only been about 10. She waited right to the end, and her mum was there and said, she's got a question for you. And I waited there. It was just me, her, and my sisters. She said to me, I got a question. I said, yes, honey, what's your question? She looked at me and said, is my dad on that canoe? And it shocked me. And I said, what do you think? She goes, he is, because I've got something to tell him before I let him go as a star. And that, I guess her belief and her desire to express herself through this traditional practice that connects to this 10-year-old today is the most amazing experience that I've ever had as part of this journey.
Beautiful.
That's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Just took a moment because.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love that.
Before you guys go, and obviously it's a big couple of days for you boys, but is there any, I guess, overarching message or anything that you would love our shifters to know just before we wrap this one up today?
I suppose Matariki is an opportunity for us to take something that is from this land, from this whenua, and make it a pillar of our identity. If we can, because it's made up of the best things that make us who we are, sharing. It's not about presence, it's about being present, with each other, connecting to our loved ones, spending time, and our well-being. And so I just encourage people. It might just be another day off for some of you, but I'd really encourage people to have a deeper look. And so on Friday, when I'm with Teao, I'll be thinking about all of my loved ones. I'll be calling out the name of the Queensland rugby team because they'll be some of the dead, I think, rising in the sky after Wednesday night, Mark. But I'll be thinking about my loved ones, and I'll be with Te Aorere and my closest and dearest friends and celebrating. What about you, bro?
Yeah, I like that that kōrero of just being present. I think in the world we live in, it's so fast. We're on our phones. Everything is always instant. Rangi's getting Uber Eats every single day. And we don't take enough time just to be. We talk about Hawaii as Māori, and some say it's the home of your parents or your tipuna. And I don't live at home. I don't live in Tokomaru Bay. I'm from a small community on the East Coast. And I remember last year, it was a beautiful morning. We had the hautapu ceremony. We ate, and then we sat on top of our maunga for about an hour and just did nothing. And I thought to myself, our tipuna came from the Pacific to Aotearoa, and they talked about the homeland of their tipuna, and they called that Hawaii. And I don't live where my dad grew up, but in that moment I thought to myself, this is Hawaii. And that's the feeling that I chase during Matariki, is I don't take my phone up there, I do take the two videographers to document the journey, but I just take the time just to be, first with myself, then with my tipuna, and then my whānau and my hapu.
Can I ask what you guys are going to do for Matariki this year?
Absolutely. We're going up north. We just had a new Bubba. So, yeah, Bubba's 3 weeks. So we're taking Bubba up to see his grandparents up in Whangarei, actually. And just going to reflect and have a good kai. And personally, though, I want to think about a few things. Just that are kind of stirring in my head and spirit. And I think your whakaaro today kind of was like, oh, cool, I can let some stuff go. And because life's really awesome, and I kind of want to have a great rest of or start to the year, So I'm just, personally, I want to think about a few things and reflect and feel that wairu and energy and let it spur me on. That's what I want to do, yeah.
Love that. I have to be completely honest with you. Before you guys came in here, if I was thinking about my Friday, I'm not sure if I would have done anything outside of the normal. And that's just me being as honest as I can. I'm lucky, as Jordan was saying, like winter's in Kohanga, so I'm well more aware. Like I actually called Tiri, our friend Tiri, the other day, but Teao was there, and I was like, hey, Winter's saying this, but I'm not actually sure what he's saying. Can you read it? But for the life of us, none of us could work it out. So I'm immersed in it now more than I ever have been. But after sitting here and listening to you guys talk about it today, one thing that I'm subconsciously chasing at the moment is trying to be as present or off my phone as I possibly can. Be wired into what Winter's doing and his movements, and just talking to you guys today. We were having a chat 2-3 days ago. Like the boys, we're kind of like, man, it's halfway through the year, like we're at that point now, and it can become overwhelming. You're just kind of turning the chains, trying to get to the next point. But actually soak up where you are now, soak up what you're doing, enjoy what you're doing, get rid of the mamai that you can get rid of. So having you guys in here today, I hope if you were sitting in the same boat as me and may have been grateful to have the day off, but not pursuing what you can pursue on Matariki. I hope there's a few people going, I'm with you, Brooke, after listening to you fellas. So on behalf of all of us shifters, I say thank you.
I've got family coming over, so they'll all come over to our house, just massive feed. We've got my sister-in-law. She's Rarotongan. She knows how to make the raro donuts, the chop suey. So it'll be a heavily carbohydrated meal. And then I'll probably spend some time reflecting because it's been a year since my father passed. So it'll be I'll do some reflection there and probably stay in that reflection mode. And maybe just review the early 2010s Maroon era, the Kronk Slater era, you know, bring back good feelings, hopefully project that into the future.
Oh, I love that.
No, beautiful, boy. Thank you for your time and your words. And shifters, if you're listening to that, I hope that you didn't just learn something. You can also reflect on what you can do as well. Thank you, brothers.
Cheers.
Tahiti, that's us.
This is The Shift. The Shift.
Go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home.
The Morning Shift.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
The Shift.
I love you.
This is The Shift.
Got him.
Okay.